I am so grateful tonight, within the midst of all that surrounds us in our world and in our busy lives, that the stars have aligned and are allowing us to spend this precious time together. And I love that we are sharing this time in this space with all of you who are online around the corner and around the world, as we remember that no matter which time zone we are in, this is a night of profound mystery. It is a night for unusual sounds and sighs in the heavens and in this cathedral. This night is one of far-reaching complexity. It is a night for strangers crowding into a stable and for kings starting a journey. This night is one of touching simplicity, and it is a night for receiving a gift and cradling this gift of God's love and hope for each one of us in our hearts. As people have throughout the ages, we have gathered to celebrate this story that is old and familiar, and yet something within us still longs to hear it told again. In these well-worn words, we are still surprised by the mystery and wonder of these words, and by the mystery and wonder of the Holy One's unimaginable love for us. As we hear the familiar notes and chords of the music that surround us on this night of all nights, we are once again hearing creation's story of celebration, a story that has been continually ringing throughout the ages. And as we are hearing and celebrating this ancient story, miraculously, we may be surprised that we are also hearing our own story in a new way, a way that brings the gift of light and love to our weary hearts once again. I will admit I have always been intrigued by the stories of how we all arrived here, together at this specific moment in time. Because even though our first Kids First did a great job of recreating this ancient story at the 5 p.m. service, in reality, none of us are here this evening because we didn't have a hotel reservation and there was no room at any of the inns. Very few of us have come straight from watching some sheep in the hills, and I would bet that none of us have come from afar by camel, but this is LA. And more than likely, we did not hear of this gathering from the lead angel of the group, Heavenly Host on High, although they may be appearing soon on a screen we can all access. Yes, here in this place, we knew it would probably be crowded. Here we are possessing something close to those shepherds' curiosity and joy, and here we are responding to the light of the child who became the Christ. The child whose birth occurred in a small, contested part of the world and has for centuries called to us and offered a lasting peace that can change the world. So I am hoping that in these moments, somewhere in your hearts, you have been able to hear those ageless echoes of angels' voices. Voices that are still celebrating that night tonight, as we have gathered once again as a people of Christmas. Whether we have a little faith, a lot of faith, absolutely no faith, or we are of another faith. Because you see, tonight, every part of who we are is being celebrated and welcomed in this time and space. This is a place to call home tonight, and this welcome extends not just for tonight, but throughout the year. Please know, as much as I absolutely love giving gifts, While this night is a gift for all of you, we consider it a gift for all of us, too. Historically, I know as a minister that the Christmas sermon is the hardest sermon for ministers to write. My friend who lives in a different time zone texted me earlier today saying, "I don't have a sermon and I have nothing to wear." Every year it is the same for me. Part of it is we want to be perfect. It is important, after all, because this just might be the last time we see you until December 24th next year. So I turned to a dear friend's minister, Jim Rigby in Austin, for some help. Jim is one of those people who is consistently in trouble with whatever religious heat is around. That's why I like him so much. I dearly loved something Jim wrote earlier this month about what it means to speak of the incarnation. Now, that is not a word we use often in conversation. So it is nice that Rigby explains that when we say incarnation on Christmas Eve, we are talking about Jesus being the Word that became flesh. And what does that mean? He says it means the essence of the divine, the expression of the divine was manifested in Jesus. So as Rigby helps us, he offers that we can begin tonight, on this Christmas Eve, by remembering that the divine image is also being manifested in each and every one of us. We too are the sacred expressions of the heart of the universe. Rigby suspects if we go back in time to Bethlehem on Christmas, we would see a world that looks much like ours. The stories of Christmas are not narratives, he says, about holier people in holier times. Christmas is a yearly reminder of how our lives might look and feel if we were fully present to our own incarnation in the here and now. Incarnation means enfleshment. Enfleshment means fully manifesting our own cosmic creativity in our real lives. Yes, in these days, we too are tormented by our Herods. And to be sure, he says, we too are children of the universe and the stars. In this point in time, I believe incarnation means it is time for us to stop waiting for better circumstances to begin manifesting who we truly are. You see, truth and love have never been disembodied abstractions. And it is our job to give birth to these treasures in our own lives. It made me laugh when he said, to wait to discover spiritual treasures in the external world, which is what most of us do all the time, is like a bird hoping to find an already built nest full of eggs. So whatever the word sacred means to you, it can only be given birth through loving real people in real situations. He insists incarnation does not mean having orthodox beliefs about Jesus. Rather, incarnation means manifesting love in our real life circumstances. Incarnation requires fearless honesty to explore, to make mistakes, and discover through trial and error who we authentically are. So on this Christmas Eve, acceptance of who we are just might be the place where we open the gift we were given when we were born. The gift of the original blessing of the divine. This gift asks us first to look at life as it actually is. Mary and Joseph didn't give us a blockbuster movie, but they did show us how hard life can be. So many of the things that happened to them on this night that we celebrate, I can guarantee were not part of their imagined goals. And yet, they accepted what was in order to be ready for what was to come. If we are truly going to accept this gift that is offered to all of us, a gift that will allow us to manifest the profound creativity within each one of us, creativity that can change the world, we have to stop waiting for a better time to come along before we begin to live. I'm not sure who said Christmas is a reminder that stars often shine brightest in bleak backgrounds. Music is sometimes sweetest after a period of retching silence. And intimacy sometimes feels warmest in frigid external conditions. Our gift on this night to ourselves and this world must be to decide to embody incarnation beginning tonight. And to make it the core of who we truly are, we must start living where we are and manifest love as fearlessly and completely as we can. Every moment we love authentically from the ground of our being is our true Christmas. If we need understanding on how to do that, look to Mary and Joseph, look to the shepherds, look to the wise ones, and listen. Listen to the songs of the angels. May it be so. Amen.